So welcome back to another video. This hopefully will be the final part on this left hand side rear sill, getting this outer skin back together, making up the end cover piece, get the paint on, that sort of thing. You can see there I've got my welding blanket in the way, so it's protecting the door and the glass. I welded in these two pieces that I've cut off. Now that should be in there and I'm plugged weld through. So we'll have to see about that and see whether that angle is wrong, because that originally would have been on there like that and plugged welded. So I'll have to get a straight edge on it and see which bit is off. It could be these that are slightly out, kicked out this way, but I need to see. I can always bash and manipulate, but then we want to get this extra piece, now this next piece made up, and then it's that end piece. This end piece, pardon me, this bit is going to be a nightmare, but we'll come to that in a bit. Now what I've forgotten I'd bought is inner and outer channel. So that inner piece that I folded, I could have used the inner bit that I've got, but anyway, come this way, I'll show you what I've done. So these two pieces that I cut off, that's all that rotten outer. Just prepared them, tacked them back together, created myself a cardboard template, and then I've transferred the cardboard template onto there. I'm going to cut out the bit that I need out of there, and then that can go up in the rafters for if I need it for the other side. But I've got a line somewhere. Is it here? It's here. So cut there, dispose of that, start to manipulate that, start to get my water pockets in, the holes into plug weld, etc. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to cut it out. So now we have our piece cut out, so I'll just try that in before I put any holes in it and everything. Bit too long there, but I can shorten that. Deliberately left it long. Let's get my holes in. There we go. Ripple, water pockets, slight curve on it, but that's straighten out. There's pop marks on it where I've created them, but that doesn't matter. It's thinner stuff, this. So next I've just got to try it onto the body, adjust the edges. Here, presto. Now it doesn't fit. Why doesn't it fit here now? That's weird. That's why. Because it doesn't go all the way over there. It sits there, doesn't it? It doesn't go all the way over to there. Right, I've got to fold that in a bit more. That needs folding in. There's a gap there. This is too long here, so I need to adjust that end. Oh, okay, I think maybe it should come here, I don't know. Should it come here? Problem because this end had all rotted away, I don't know where it goes to. We've got a big gap at that end and a big gap here. See, that's where that went to, so that's where the end should be. So what I need to do is try that, put a mark on there, put a bit of tape on, put a mark, and that's where it lines up. That hole lies over that hole there. Right, okay, so I need to cut that in that piece, because there's a hole here, wax through. Okay. Why doesn't that one line up over there? This is in the way. too long. Or is it? Is it just that that's like that? That's not far off actually. That hole goes over that hole. Right, okay, not bad. Not bad. That will be okay, I think, actually. Right, we've just got to cut that hole there for that hole to make sure that lines up. Probably better mark it from this side, actually. Right, okay, not bad. So that's now ready to have weld through primer on the inside. That piece can go in the scrap bin, and then that can go in. These do need spot welding flush onto there. Just needs pushing in a bit and spot welding, plug welding, because it is kicked out a little bit. So I'll do that another day. Not doing it today. I'm going to go in. I've had enough now. I keep going in, coming out, doing a bit. So we're just in the process of welding it in. I've got this end plug welded. I've got that top bit fully seam welded. And I moved to that end. We'd put some tacks on already. I've not started to do the bottom yet. We're just letting it cool down again. Because obviously with thin and thin, you've got to be careful, don't blow through or get too much heat into it. So we're just letting it cool down. And then I need to bash it in a bit more, because that needs to be in to be able to plug weld those two. It's coming, so we've done, let the motorbike go, plug welded, seamed along there. I've not done this bit. We've done all the way along there and down. I've not done underneath. But you can see here it's out slightly, so that bit needs to be in more. But I think what I'm going to have to do is cut this here so that that bit can go in and line up here with this edge, because there's a step, you can probably see. So I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to come back to that bit another day. I'm just going to wire brush it off, get rid of the soot and everything, and then I'll decide what to do with this. And I've not done these plug welds yet either. That one's not, that's the plastic thing. There probably should be another one around here somewhere. I'm guessing about here. You can see there's a step there as well. You might be able to see. So I'm going to leave it for now. Come back to it another day when I've decided what to do. Okay, so I've been in and I've decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut there, just above that line. But rather than using a thin slitting disc, a normal 1mm one, I'm going to use that thicker one, which is like 1.5 mm, I suppose, or is it 2mm? Because that'll just give me a bit more space. It'll mean that when I've moved it, it'll still have a gap to fill in with weld. But of course what I've got to do is be careful that I don't cut through underneath. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut it now. That smells better, just cut that. Little it's gone from there to now lining up, it just falls in. So I need to just bash that a little bit there. That'll be fine. A little bit here probably. Just a little bit there. Get a tack on that end first so that that is correct. And then the rest will fall in. Let's get that welded. Good. So all I've got to do now is underneath, the plug welds underneath, and these two plug welds here. But I need to clean off all the weld through primer before I do those. Let it cool down again. It's time to go and cook my tea, so I'm not going to do that now. Do it another day. But it's okay. I still think it's too long because that line there is where the end of the old piece came to, so I probably need to trim the end a little bit. But it's better to have it too long. Yeah, it's okay. So I'm just starting to make up this piece to go in there where the actual hole was. So I've made myself a cardboard template, and to replace that bit of lip, so that needs to go on in a bit. I've still not done the plug welds under here, but I'll do that later. And I've still not done these
these two, but I'll do that later. Yeah, I've just been making that up. Just got to find out what thickness steel it is. Not that it makes a huge difference. I might as well do it out in 1.2. And then we'll get that cut and shaped, and then we'll tack that in and get that bit in as well before we then make the end piece. Right, let's cut that out. There we go, more or less. It'll need a little bit of manipulation once it's in, but it's not bad. Get a few tacks in, bash it in. Obviously prepare the edge, it's not ready for welding yet. Got to de-rust the inside as well, because there's still rust up there. But yeah, that's not bad. It'll probably need a little skim of filler over that one, I bet. But yeah, good. Right, what we're going to do next, not sure. Like I said, this inside inner piece here is going to be a right pain. I might have to do that in 2 or 3 sections, but you can see up here it's not good light, but you can see it needs rust treating and de-rusting. I need to weld that little cut up there as well before I put that piece in. But yeah, coming on, that's another piece made up. That's this piece put in as well. Fully seam welded round. Those 2 plug welds done. Plug welds done underneath. The seam weld done at that end from this piece. So that's the outer sill fully welded on. Just got to flat all that back now, so I'll do that. And then finally afterwards we can start to make up this end piece. I'm going to put my face mask on while I grind all this lot off, so I'll see you when I've done that. There we go, flatted back. So we'll need a bit of filler on it, but not much. This isn't bad at all. The inside doesn't matter. I will just flat that off a little bit. Next I can get that piece treated and start to cut and shape that piece. Still not sure where this end finishes in relation to this piece, because of course it's missing. Let's get some prime on it. There we go, so yeah, a bit of filler, bit of seam seal. Well, a bit of seam seal first, then maybe a bit of filler in the odd place. But not bad at all. Like I said, I just got to do the end piece now and figure out where that actually ends, but the actual sill itself is all fine. Pleased with that. So yeah, it's pretty good, pretty solid. Still needs a bit more rust treat here, and I've not painted all that yet, but I'll do that when I paint this. So this will get epoxy painted on the bottom. The top bit will get blue paint, you know, the right colour blue. But all the sill itself will get a coat of epoxy paint. I'll leave that dry. Time to go and have a drink, I think. Still needs 1 or 2 little areas, like there's 1 or 2 little tiny holes I might grind out and fill back in. There's one here. There's a pinhole here after I've ground it back. There's one there. There's one there. There's one there, there's one there, there's a couple along there, there's one there, just so it's more difficult to see. So I might grind them out and just spot weld them back up and grind back. But yeah, we'll leave it for now, see you later. So I've done these, filled those in, ground them back a bit. I'm just starting to put my holes in for the clips to hold the outer trim on. I've tried the outer trim on. This is okay where it is. I don't need to trim it anymore. It'll finish there because it's going to be covered up. The outer trim comes along here and hides that, so that's okay. I need to put my hole here, and then there's another hole underneath that I need to put in as well, for there's a light little locating pin that goes in. So I'm just going to drill those. So that's those 2 put in. I've also just run that one out where I've got a bit of weld in the bottom, so we'll coat these back up again with a bit of weld through, and then we'll start to get this end made up. I need to rust treat in there as well, so I'll get a wire brush in there. Right, so we're starting to look at this piece that came out of inside there. I can use that as a bit of a guide, I suppose. Then the inside of the bottom sill piece, the closing piece here, the end outer sill, 3 layers on this end here. So I've got to figure out what the 3 layers were. So one layer is that bit. Another layer is probably that closing piece. But then what was the other bit? Is there another little lip that goes in there first before that then goes on? That might make it easier. I'll show you what I mean. Cardboard templates. So that's what I mean. I've just made up sections of card, taped them together, and that's a piece to put in the bottom, and then I can make the other piece to overlap it and come down, and then that'll weld onto this, which will give me the one layer, and then the other layer is probably that coming down over the edge here. So right, so I've got to mark that and cut that out of steel, see if I've got a scrap piece that'll do it the right size. Well, I've cut that out of my getting very smaller big piece because I didn't have any scrap bits. I've now got to bend it and fold it and get it to fit in from that template. That's bent up, let's see if it fits. Da, da, da. Or does it need adjustment? Yeah, it's too long, so it won't quite go in, so it needs adjustment. Not quite. Well, that bit didn't quite work. I had to adjust that one a bit to get it in, but that will do for the bottom piece because I can seal these holes up with sealer, and then we can make the top piece to go over the top and overlap it. I'll probably cut that and bend that this way a little bit. So again, there's a seam there, so let's get me pen. So if I put a cut, the pen's not working, in that corner, and then I can bend that way, and then we need to put some plug welds in. One in here, and then we'll do one there, one there. Right, we've got some fetting to do, some drilling to do, and a bit of cutting. Get a coat of weld-through primer on that, another coat in there, let that dry, then that's that piece ready to go in. I'll put that piece in before I then make up the other section. So I forgot to put a hole in to plug weld it to that piece at the back, which I've done. I've marked where I'm going to put the hole for squirting the wax in. I've made myself a cardboard template that goes in there to then create the other piece. I've transferred that onto the steel and cut it out, and now I'm just marking where to put my fold on for this return lip, and then I can start to fold and shape. So now I'm going to fold that over for the lip, and then I've got to start bending it because it's quite complicated, so it'll take a while. So I've now put a lip on, but of course that's completely flat. It does not fit in there. So, I mean, how the heck do you do this? I'm going to go and start curving it and bending it and banging it and stuff, and see if I can get it to start to fit, and then I can manipulate it from there. So we've started to get that S shape on that lip. So we've used the shrinker stretcher, stretched, shrunk. So shrunk, bring it in, stretch, bring it out. Now I can start to put the fold in to get that shape, but what I need to do is figure out where it goes, because obviously it's not just straight, it's not just parallel. So I need to go back to my cardboard template and then transfer it across. So put the cardboard template back in and then work out the distances. Right, that's about as good as I'm going to get it. It's nearly right here. It's a bit off there and it's a bit off here. But when I've welded this piece in and started to weld this in, I can then bash and manipulate that, because the problem is every time I move one bit, another bit moves. But it's not far off now, so we'll get some weld through primer on the back and then we'll start to get that in. Get that one out, get that one in first. I need to drill another hole in that first for the plug that the wax goes through. That's that bit in. So next we can work on getting this other piece in. Still outside, I need to bring it in. So that's not bad. That's okay. Now the next bit. So almost. I've got the bottom bit in. I've got the top bit in, seam welded along the bottom and up there. Got these plug welds done. Got to drill 2 holes through to plug weld the new piece to the actual inner bits. I have got some marks on there. I need to clean the soot off. There's one here and one here. Intersect them, drill the holes, and then I need to just sort this bit. So I'm going to cut that lip off there, and then about bash it in, and then weld that bottom bit back to here, and then where I cut it, weld that back together. So nearly. Well, let's get my hat on straight. Well, I think we're about there. I've got all that in. Let's get the light up. There we go. So that's that piece in now. Seam welded all the way up there, flatted that back, seam welded there, flatted that back, plug welds, so that'll be okay. Get some undercoat on it, then tomorrow bit of paint, bit of seam seal, and that's this side done. Got to inject all wax inside, final bit of paint. Oh no, have I got overspray there? I have. I've got overspray on the door, look. There. Heck. Oh dear. That'll polish off properly. Never mind. So let's just get a coat of undercoat on it and then see. There we are. So that's the welding on this side done. Paint next. I've probably put a dent there where I've squashed it, but don't matter. That'll be okay. I'm going to put a bit of filler on it anyway, probably, and I'll have to paint up there a bit, so not bad. So like I said the other day, I'm pleased with that. Seam seal, paint and everything start to fill, start to get it all painted tomorrow, so it shouldn't take much. Get this side back together next weekend maybe, apart from painting under these wheel arches and everything. At least the sill's done on this side now, so thanks for watching. I hope you've found that useful and enjoyable. Welcome to the new subscribers. Over 300 subscribers now on the channel, so thank you very much everybody for subscribing. Thank you for your comments. Take care, see you next time.